one simple, elegant equation to explain everything. To prove that time had a beginning. Wouldn't that be nice?
First of all, thank you.
Oh no, not at all. Thanks for seeing the film.
Have you been to ArcLight?
I have, yeah. In LA, yeah. Beautiful.
They come and introduce the film and do all things like that. It's really posh. We don't have that in London.
Talk to me about preparing for such a dramatic acting and such physical acting.
So I suppose I approached it in kind of, I went and spent 6 months meeting people with motor neuron disease and their families and seeing the ramifications that the disease has on their life. But meeting Jane and Jonathan and the kids and then Stephen and really being inspired by them.
Part of the joy for this journey for me was learning about Jane's life, which I didn't know. I didn't know a ton about her story and her perspective. She wrote the book, right, that the movie's based on?
Yes, yes.
Did she work with you?
She was such a part of the film. She was so wanting to give, and I went for dinner at her house, and she opened the door with a huge smile, and she has such a spirit that when I met her, I thought, actually, this is going to be okay. And there was even her physicality, that she loves dancing, and so I wanted in Jane's body there to be a movement. She moves beautifully, and she has these lovely hands, and just that kind of detail that when you're meeting the real person makes your job a lot easier.
We all met with Jane and Stephen separately, and I spent some time, very, very productive time with Jane, going around Cambridge, looking at where Stephen and Jane's life played out in Cambridge. She would point out where the impediments were to wheelchairs. Look, that's a terrible building for a wheelchair. Look, there's no ramp there. Even now, it's disgraceful. She took me back to the house where when they were married. Very small house they lived in when they were first married, and showed me the bedroom where Stephen had this extraordinary epiphany about radiation in black holes, and it really happened that way. And
With a sweater stuck over his head.
I was in the room where it happened, and those help you. You absorb that, the atmosphere of that, and the idea of that. But there's a great duty, as you say, to when you have real people who are still alive to comment and critique what you've done, you better get it right.
It's almost inconceivable to think how wrong doctors were about this 2-year diagnosis.
Yeah. I mean, it's complicated because we've had this ALS ice bucket challenge now. ALS is what walking has, and this disease has been around for such a long time, and they're no closer to finding a cure, well, they're tiptoeing closer, but that's why it's also a disease that doesn't have much. There isn't much money in research, and so for me, he is the great icon of hope, and a lot of the ALS patients that I met were happy to meet me because he did defy all expectations, and it is sort of power of the human spirit in some way.
And it's great that this film, in addition to all the other things it offers, helps keep that conversation going.
I hope so.
When people look at you and your career and they think, he's made it, and want a little inspiration, what would you say to them?
Oh God, I suppose it's such a cliche, but just for me, keep making the key to trying to do good work for me is to keep making mistakes.
Work with good people, people that you trust, that you can be free to make mistakes with.
Well, be prepared for lots of disappointment, and perseverance is the main thing I think any filmmaker needs, is to kind of accept setbacks and get beyond them. So just persevere, don't give up.